Chili from Philly. Nick Papagiorgio from Yuma.
Johnny Show! What's up, Yuma?
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to another episode of What's Up, Yuma Radio. I'm Johnny Porter.
And I'm Victor Calderon.
And you have a different jersey on today, Victor.
Yes. So today England is playing Croatia. And so I'm sporting in support of, I have been to London. It's been a minute, but I have been to London, so I'm going for England.
Where'd you go? What's London? That's a country then?
London, the city.
London's is a city. I don't know.
Right.
I've never been there.
Yeah.
So London is a city
so
that you visit inside of a country.
Right. Okay. London, England.
London, there we go.
England,
okay,
yeah.
cool.
So I have been there. It's a beautiful city. It's fun. But again, I haven't been there in a while, so I have to get back one day if I win the lottery.
Yeah. Did you watch the game yesterday?
I watched the Argentina game and I watched the France game, and those are two of the teams I'm going for. So, yeah, it was a big day for goals. If you like goals, because Lionel Messi scored 3 goals and Kylian Mbappe for France scored 2 goals.
And there was another guy that kept popping up on my feed that scored 2 goals as well. So I don't know who that was, but
Dave from Norway.
There was somebody on. Yeah, there was somebody else on there.
There's a lot of games, and I don't. Despite what you think, I don't have all the jerseys for all the teams.
Oh, you don't?
I only have about 10 of like the top teams. You know.
Oh, right on.
England, Brazil,
and it was a big deal because this is how do you say his name? Messi.
Lionel Messi.
This is his last time that he's going to play in the World Cup.
Yes,
right?
most likely.
Most likely,
every 4 years. You're right.
Yeah,
so he's like our age. He's in his 40s, I think.
Yeah,
so.
he's in his. Well, I think he's 39 or
39.
something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Old for soccer.
Yeah, and then there was the other guy, Ronaldo, and he's like 41, and this is his last time too.
Cristiano Ronaldo for Portugal.
Yeah, so I think people are thinking hoping that they play each other at some point, but we'll see what happens.
That would be fun. Like one more time, it's like seeing like LeBron and Curry or something.
Yeah, that would be cool, man. But so who do we have with us today?
We have Pastor Naaman Struck. He's an assistant pastor at the Potter's House. All right, thanks for being here this morning.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
I'm good. Good to be back home, but the heat just slapped me.
Did it? So how long have you been back home?
We got back in November.
You got back in November, so
right before the holidays.
Yeah, it was nice in November, right?
Yeah, they said it was winter, but it was hot still.
It was still warm, but it's not like it was right now today, right?
Oh, no, absolutely.
Yeah, not. So before we get to what you do as a pastor at the Potter's House, we like to get to know our guests. So you're from here originally. And then you ended up in South Africa, and now you're back. But tell us a little bit about growing up here in Yuma.
Yeah, I came age 15. We moved from Imperial Valley.
the Imperial Valley. That's where you're from. Okay.
Yeah, so we would play sports. I was at Brawley Union High School. So Wildcats.
I just got to say, so I go for a walk every morning.
Yeah.
And I walk next to a guy that's a coach and a teacher over at Brawley.
Wow.
He's from here in Yuma. And anyway, he's just talking about how great the sports program is over at Brawley. He was like bragging about it. It's like so much better than here in Yuma. He used to be the soccer coach here at KOFA. But anyway, so you're part of Brawley.
Yeah, so I grew up there, and then age 15, we moved to Yuma, and I started attending KOFA High School. Mm-hmm. And graduated from KOFA High, played some sports there.
So what sports did you play?
A little bit of basketball and then tennis all the way through.
Tennis. So tennis, did you like it more? Why did you lean towards tennis?
I think at the time you could have more of an individual outlook and stuff.
Like the impact.
Impact, there you
right?
go.
Because you're not a team, and if your team runs not good, and then, maybe KOFA wasn't. I don't know if KOFA's basketball has ever been good, but.
They were. Back in the day, Paisano was there. And
Paisano.
Shout out. Yeah. But I think, so I got a job and then just started making, selling shoes. So the basketball, they wanted to dominate your life. Mm-hmm. And so I only played up till JV.
Oh, gotcha.
And then I would probably say more because of the job and school. Mm-hmm. And then tennis, you could practice on your own. You had a team, but... Mm-hmm. I enjoyed it. It was something that I could play even to this day.
Mm-hmm. And so you said you moved here 15. What did your family do in Brawley?
So my dad was a pastor in Brawley, California. So a small community, and so we were originally from Globe, Arizona, small mining town. And so we moved to Brawley when I was probably about 4 or 5 years old. So I grew up there for about 11 years.
So did he go from Globe to Brawley to be a pastor? Was he a pastor in Globe?
Yeah. So he was trained in Globe, and then he went to be a pastor in Brawley, California. Yeah.
All right. And then you said trained in Globe. Was he part of the Potter's House over there, the church that you're affiliate? And the Potter's House, people that don't know, that's their mission, right? They kind of like plant a lot of churches. That's like a big...
Yeah, and they go just right off of the biblical concept. And Jesus said, go into all the world, preach the gospel. And here's the key, make disciples. And all that word means is strict learners to be followers of Christ. And so the Potter's House kind of embraced that, where everything is in-house, giving men the opportunity to learn the word. But then also, as Paul spoke to Timothy, it's kind of like a father-son relationship, that the pastors are creating an atmosphere for people to develop and to grow, and he's there to serve them. And so my dad was part of that in the early stages, because they started like in the 1970s.
Yeah, it was a movement started, you know, if people want to do their research, it's the Jesus People movement.
Right.
That's where everything started. And so what was it like growing up with a dad that was a pastor? And be honest, don't...
Yeah, so, you know, you see the good, the bad, and the ugly. And as a young boy, I mean, I saw crazy things. Brawley was, at that time, huge on drugs and prostitution.
Oh, wow.
And so, you know, as a child, you're seeing radical and not knowing what was taking place. But, I mean, you're talking like guys that came straight off from, like, gang banging to killing people. They would walk through the doors of our church, and it was like a change like that. And so I'm looking back like, wow, I mean, these guys were the real deal.
Yeah.
And
so
transformation took place.
And you were about how old when you started to notice these people coming in?
Yeah. So probably, you know, understanding more would probably be about like 10, 11.
About 10 or 11, you're seeing these people maybe look a little intimidating, right? If they came in tattooed up or something or whatever, have a certain look, because you come in with a certain disposition. Your church, from what I can tell, is like a hospital. You kind of go there when you need something like that. You're not always in the best place in your life. So you started to notice this kind of happening.
Yeah. And it was cool because, I mean, you're talking like now, because their son or their daughter or their husband, somebody like radically changed, it began to bring in families. And so, yeah, it was on the tailwinds of the Jesus People movement. Obviously, 60s and 70s, they're just revolting against.
Yeah, there's a big counterculture, like everything.
So then my dad, when we went to Brawley, it wasn't the hippies, it was the cholos, it was the gangbangers. And I mean, you're talking about heroin use. I remember I was probably about 10 years old, and a young lady who was a prostitute, my family took her in, and my dad and my mom, like, she was having a manifestation. She was trying to kick heroin, and she was getting through that. And we're like looking through the bedroom door, and she was like very thin, and she was like throwing my parents, and they were like strapping her down just to hold her to kick the drug. And just to see her change, you know what I mean? And you're talking like straight up, like what you see in the movies, like demon possessed.
Yeah.
You know?
Like Exorcist almost.
Absolutely.
Almost like that.
Yeah. I mean, she was so frail, but there was a supernatural strength that she had. And just to see my parents persevere through those type of situations, to see people changed, it was awesome.
So that's maybe what made you think about, you know, going into, you know,
no,
life of
I
faith?
ran from it.
See, and that's a good question.
No, it's very good. Yeah.
That's a great question, because so then you said you ran from it.
Well, not initially.
But okay, tell me about that.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, watching that growing up in it, it was kind of exciting. But then when you get older, you realize, wait, is this what I really want to give myself to? You know, and so we moved to Yuma, and I started high school. Long story short, came to AWC. I wanted to pursue law.
That was your thing.
I wanted to help people, but I was fascinated with the courturnum.
Gotcha.
And so I came to AWC to get my prereqs, and it was only when I did a internship at the juvenile court that I realized what probation officers did. So I wanted to go to U of A to get my law degree. I came to NAU Yuma, got my bachelor's degree, and then in that internship, I said, wow, these guys, they're like in the middle of the whole court system, meaning you have law enforcement up front locking people up, and then the courts, we would handle all the case through to corrections. And so as a probation officer, I was getting that feeling of like I really wanted to help people, but then also it was a career.
Yeah.
And so with all of that, when I say like running away, I knew there was a calling on my life, and I was trying to fulfill it on my terms.
But you were still, to a degree, it sounds like that it gave you a sense of fulfillment for reals, because you're actually helping people, again, like a church, not in a great place.
Right. Yeah.
And so your first job was JC Penney's, though. Before that was when you were in high school, and that's what
that was
like,
back in the day.
Back in the day,
that was like the only store. Well, I mean, there was others, but
there wasn't like online shopping, and there weren't.
Everything's changed. You know? Like we had you had the Jordans, we had all the big name shoes, but you had the work boot all the way to the high heels. So I would be able to serve the whole family, and so that was kind of my my first introduction into the community. A lot of people knew me from selling shoes. Yeah,
I remember. I could picture you in there in JC Penney's in the shoe section.
That was
back
me.
In the day. Yeah, and so so you did that, and then so law. What initially attracted you to law before the probation? Like, what was it about the law?
Yeah, I think you're molded and shaped by movies and just media and stuff at that time, and so just the courtroom. I loved the atmosphere of the courtroom, presenting cases, lawyers, judges.
So you're watching this on TV or some drama, something like that, and you're like, oh, I like this. So you gravitated towards it. You came out here to AWC, like you said.
Right.
You said you want to pursue that, but in the middle, and that's when you pivot to probation officer. Maybe you met one or
no. Yeah. So I went to do an internship, and I saw that not only are they in the courtroom, but they're actually able to be in the community. So, they would handle the case, meaning like law enforcement would write the police report. The probation officer is literally the hands and the eyes of the judge. The judge can't know everybody.
Yeah.
So it was our job to interview all the victims, the defendants, the family, the school. I mean, you get your fillers out there to give the judge a proper understanding of this child that committed the offense, the victim, the community, and all of that impact. And then we would write a recommendation to what the judge should do.
Wow.
So, I mean, you're talking like you're touching everything and everybody to give him like a full case. So it's not just white and black, it's flesh and blood.
Yeah, and so that's like
for rehabilitation.
Yeah, and that could be like a heavy burden in one sense, right? Because you want to make sure you're doing your due diligence,
absolutely,
and the best for this person that maybe committed this offense and the victims. Yeah, everybody,
absolutely. So I mean, I didn't know about what they did, and so so that fascinated me to be able to do that and to present it in court. So you're doing the courtroom side, but then we were strapped, meaning I was against uniform, so I didn't want to be a police officer. But you're wearing a tie, but you'd be able to carry a weapon because we're doing home checks. You're going to the same homes where we're on the border, so you have drugs being smuggled in and all of the cartel stuff, and so we're going into dangerous places. And so we were able to do kind of like what law enforcement does with the training and all of that. So it was like both worlds.
How long did you do that? How long was that?
I was hired in 2001, and then I left in 2009.
In 2009. So you did it for quite some time.
Right.
You enjoyed it. And then what was the leave? Is that when you...
Yeah. So, I mean, people would come into my office, and I'm talking like real problems. It's like, where do you start? You see the juvenile, but then you realize that's just the fruit, and there's a root, and the family is kind of broken. And so obviously there's a huge separation between church and state.
Yeah.
But I don't know, there was just a favor on my life that kids would ask me questions, and I wasn't ashamed to tell them why I was smiling. People would make fun out of me, and I would say I just had big teeth, that I couldn't close my mouth. But there was a genuine joy that I had. As a young man, I rededicated my life to Christ. I had made mistakes as well, just like everybody else. But I invited Christ into my heart, and it was like genuinely there. And so within that, I'm sharing Christ to like girls would come in and they would hide all their scars with bracelets because they're cutting themselves. One girl in particular, she had 2 abortions. Like, dad said, you're going to have the first abortion. And you know what she did to cover that one up? She got pregnant again, and so she says, I'd rather feel physical pain on my body than what I'm feeling emotional. I mean, that broke me. You're talking about real kids coming in. And so I just began to share Christ. And I began to see it. Like, I would send people to counseling. I'm talking about addicts with drugs, meth. I remember my first court case. I went home crying, literally. It's right before Christmas, and the mom spit in my face. Dude, if you ever seen like a 13-year-old hook on methamphetamines, it looks like Men in Black, one of those aliens. I mean, this kid was jacked up. So I put him in detention. I locked him up to keep him safe. And mom is strung out herself. She spat on me. You know what I mean? And it was like, dude, I didn't sign up for this. I don't want this conflict. I just want to be loved and to love. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're talking about real matters. And then, so Christ helped me in all of those tough moments to say that I began to see, whoa, like, I know my purpose now, and I don't know what it looks like. I don't know where it's going to head, but I'm going to surrender to that. I think that was the key for me.
That was the key. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to jump on the other side and find out how you ended up in South Africa.
Awesome.
All right, we're going to do that right after this. You're listening to What's Up Yuma Radio right here on 94.7 KOFA Border Radio.
Why is music an important part of your life? For many of us, music lets us see the world from someone else's perspective. We can find community in hearing someone else's joy, sorrow, or hope expressed in song or melody. KOFA Border Radio is your local, non-commercial source for great music.
KAWC and Border Radio are media sponsors of the Lutz Summer Jazz Series, with concerts every other Friday from 7 to 9 p.m. at Lutz Casino on Main Street in Yuma. On June 19th, local favorite, vocalist and saxophonist Eloisa Arviso returns with the Yuma Jazz Company. Details at yumajazz.com/Lutz.
You are tuned to 94.7 FM KOFA Border Radio. We're heading into a sunny, breezy Wednesday in Yuma with an afternoon high near 110 degrees. Winds are mostly southwesterly at 5 to 10 miles per hour, but could gust up to 20 miles per hour by afternoon. Clear skies tonight with a low around 76 degrees. Coreano, hermano, ya eres mexicano, a chant ahead of the Mexico versus South Korea games. It's all love between the soccer fans. This is one of our top NPR news reports. It can be found online at kawc.org/NPR-news.
The First Amendment, the first one, enshrines the right to a free press in the United States. Help NPR and this station keep exercising this critical right by making your gift today. And thank you.
Give now by visiting kawc.org/donate. And thanks.
I'm Public Radio Runner. Join me for Bonus Smiles, the show sharing the stories and playlists that fuel runners. Why? Because the rando cheering you on at a mile 77 aid station is the same kind of person who supports local public radio. Join us every Saturday at 5 a.m. on KOFA at 94.7 FM for stories that soothe and jams that power long runs.
If you're tired of listening to long commercials before finally hearing music, look no further. We've got you covered. Whether you're searching on your radio, trying to find an app to play some tunes, or need background music playing on your computer while finishing up some work, KOFA Border Radio is your non-commercial place for music.
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to What's Up Yuma Radio. We are here with Pastor Naaman Struck. So we get to the point where you feel this calling. How do you end up in South Africa, all the way on the other side of the world, or wherever that's at?
Yeah, so I resigned from my career here and went into Southern California, and just, I didn't know anybody. And we went to a city called Pomona, kind of like Brawley, where I grew up, very gang and drug related. And we simply went in there just doing outdoor events to attract people.
You became a pastor at that point.
That's right.
To go over there? Okay.
Yeah, so we went, my wife and I, and at that time I just had my son. He was 1 year old. I'm a pastor now. And we started in our home. We call it the Garage of God. Come get a tune-up. And so, yeah, and in that we just began to work with people. And so as probably 11 years old, I had a dream. And I'm standing before thousands of like black people, and it was obviously Africa, and I totally forgot about that. And long story short, God was putting something in my heart. I went to Africa, to Kenya in 1997, and it just stuck in me. And so I'm pastoring in Pomona, and our church is into world evangelism, meaning like to plant churches all over the world. And the idea is to work yourself out of a job. So you're not going to be there forever, obviously.
Yeah, you plant it and then you go,
Yeah. So I made myself available. I was 6 years in Pomona, seeing God move, just working through my calling and what God can do and really trust him and obey. And so made myself available, and South Africa came up. At that time, we had churches, but they were all on the coast, beautiful cities, but no one had went inland. So they made it available. Hey, if you'd like to go, you can go visit a couple cities. And Kimberly was on the bottom of our list. It was worse than Yuma. It's like in the middle of nowhere. But as I'm driving in, I've never felt this before. You could see the city line. So it's like the capital of the province. You could see the city line, and my heart began to race. I was like, I'm like, what is this? My wife looked over, and she's crying because we haven't visited, but you read the news, you see what's going on in the community. I drive in, and immediately I went. So United States had built a professional skate park in Kimberly. So Kimberly's known for diamonds, and so that's what brought the world to Africa, and it put South Africa on the map. So it's very diverse. There was a American company, they built this professional skate park. I drove right in before checking in, and my heart's for the youth, and I began to talk to the young guys, and I led them to Christ, and I said, listen, I just drove into your town, drive me around South Africa. And so that's how we ended in Kimberley, South Africa.
And how long were you there?
10 years.
10 years. And were you able to kind of build that up? Is that how you ended up back over here? So you did it, you discipled the men, you got them in, and then it was like, okay, now it's time. And did you leave it to somebody?
Yeah, so it'd be cool. Like if a young man walked in, you would know he has my spirit. So we were able to plant 3 churches there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so the youngest of all the pastors is the one that God selected to take over the work. And so his name is Tabiso. So I led him to Jesus. I baptized him. I married him. So it was just like an amazing opportunity to meet someone and to see that all develop. And so the church saw that. The men saw that. And so he's the one that took over the main church that now oversees the other churches.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And so it looks like you're very proud of that being able to.
I don't know if I'd use the word proud, but I'm grateful to see that the gospel works. I'm just a simple guy to go over to a new country, to learn people, and to just do what you see Jesus do, and to work with people. It's cool. So
then how'd you end up back here? Did they say, like, you have a position now, you're assistant pastor?
Yeah, so our lead pastor, Pastor Ziebel, he asked me when we were gearing up to nationalize it, meaning that to leave it into the South African hands, he offered me to come and to be his assistant pastor here in Yuma. And again, I'd been out for over 16 and a half years, so to come back to Yuma was a great opportunity for me.
It's changed a lot, huh?
It has. It's grown a lot, and yeah, it's cool.
And you originally reached out because you had something going on at the church, right? Tell everybody a little bit about what you do at the Potter's House as we wrap up.
Yeah, so we're always trying to find creative ways to let people know about Jesus. And so we'll bring in guest speakers, different groups, whether it be bands, dramas. And so when I reached out, we had a young man that made national news. He got shot in the head in Phoenix, and while he was telling people about Christ. And so we brought him in. Not only is he alive, but he told his story. So that's what I kind of do is just find opportunities to bring Christ into our community and assist people when they come to Christ. Like, that's a great step, but you need many more steps, and just to walk that journey with people. So my wife and I, we're working with the new believers. We're leading them to Christ, and then just helping men and women develop and to be an assistant to our local church and to serve the best way that we can.
Yeah, and you got here in November, you said?
That's right.
Okay, so the Door, which the Potter's House was a part of back in the day, and we used to go there together, used to put on haunted houses. Do you guys do that? Is that a thing that you guys are going to do, or you don't even know yet?
Yeah, That's a good question.
Okay, we'll find out because those are pretty fun.
Remember those?
Yeah.
So I don't know if they've done them locally, but they do. I know they have a huge. When we came in, they had a Christmas.
They have a big Christmas thing
village.
over there.
So not so scary.
Yeah.
A little bit more family friendly.
Yeah.
But remember those haunted houses, and I think that's what attracted me to work with youth, is that all they were trying to do is show real problems, but the problem isn't just flesh and blood. There's a spiritual dimension to that. And those haunted houses were kind of revealing that drugs obviously opens
the dark
door.
side of
Absolutely.
life. Yeah.
And just being real about it and giving a solution, not just trying to scare people, but to bring them to Christ.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for being with me today. I appreciate it. You've come a long way. I remember literally sitting in JC Penney's and asking you about your bro. I got you, bro. Come over, and you showed me shoes and stuff. So, yeah, you've come a long way, man. I really appreciate you and everything that you and the church do for the community.
Yeah, thank you, sir, for having me.
So, if anybody wants to find out more about the Potter's House on social media or whatever, how do they do it?
Yeah, you can just look up the Potter's House Yuma, and they have a live stream feed on YouTube. I think they have an Instagram where they're posting things that we do, and then there's a website. Absolutely.
All right, so thank you so much, Naaman. I appreciate it, bro.
All right, thank you, Johnny.
Chili from Philly. Nick Papagiorgio from Yuma.